Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father, who the world calls God. Yahweh Shai being the name of his beloved Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. It's the brother Yair Radha, the WFI Indiana camp, coming at y'all with a quick code through the spirit, going into gaining and maintaining. All right, you want to gain and maintain in this truth. There's many things to gain, you understand, in righteousness in this truth. And we're not talking about carnal things, a car, a house, money, so on and so forth. Now we talking about gaining things of the spirit, things that would be profitable unto you, things that help you, reach the kingdom, things that help you or incline you into the Most High God, things that the Most High God can look upon and that be pleasing in His sight. Those are the type of gains that we want while we're in this truth. You understand? And then maintaining. Hey, once you get these different things, guess what? You want to hold on to it. You don't want to gain this just for it to leave or get taken away from you, or you don't take advantage of it, or you don't appreciate it, or you don't care for it, so it ends up just seeping out little by little until it's gone eventually. All right, so real quick, I'm gonna actually read these definitions, right? It's the definition to gain. It says to obtain or secure something desired, favorable, or profitable. All right. Then it says maintain. Salakia. It says maintain. It says to continue to have, to keep, or not allow to become less. And then synonyms for it is feed, nourish, sustain. So in this truth, these are qualities that are beautiful to have. A quality to be able to gain. A quality to also be able to maintain. You understand? Because if you just gain it and then it's leaving, there's really no profit to that. You understand? You learning these different things and then it's leaving from you the next week or the next day, or you read 5 chapters and you don't even remember the 5 chapters you read. Out of those 5 chapters you read, you only actually digested and intake one chapter. So we want to make sure that in this truth we gaining and we're maintaining the things that we gaining in righteousness. All right, so we're gonna kick it off with the book of Mark, chapter 8 and verse 36. It says, "For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul?" Because we don't want to focus on the gain of the world. Car, house, money, women, so on and so forth. The things of the world, the carnal things. It's not to say it's something wrong with gaining a nice house, or a house that's, nice for you, or whatever the case may be, or a nice car. There's nothing wrong with those gains, but at the end of the day, those gains don't have profit spiritually to you. All right, you having a 5-bedroom home, at the end of the day, that's not helping you. That's not inclining you to the Most High God more. That's not, that doesn't have a spiritual profit to it at the end of the day. Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, it's big. Yeah, you have room or space for your family. You understand? But the profit and the gain that we want is spiritual. You understand? We want that gain that's going to incline us more to the Most High. That's going to help us while we here, and help us try to get to get to where we're trying to reach, which is the kingdom. All right, so you don't want to gain everything in the world, but it's of no value to you. It's of no profit, or not value, but it's of no profit. All right, because when it gets to that point, you're just gaining everything in vanity, and that's what we call vain gain. You just gaining stuff in vanity. You understand? That's what we don't want to do. All right, let's get this real quick. In the book of Sirach, chapter 20, and verse 9. It's the book of Sirach, chapter 20, and verse 9. It says, "There's a sinner that have good success in evil things, and there is a gain that turneth to loss." So you can have somebody that's successful. Just because somebody's not in this truth doesn't mean that they're not going to be quote unquote successful, or so on and so forth. In the world, You got many people that are quote unquote successful and they have great gain and so on and so forth, but is it vanity? You know, concerning the spirit. It's vanity concerning the things that we need for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah to please him. You understand? Getting a scat pack is not pleasing the Lord. Now, is there something wrong with getting a scat pack? No, not at all. You understand? But that's not pleasing the Most High God. Like, that's, in this particular thing, that's a vain gain. You understand? So I'm going to read that one more time. It says, there is a sinner that have good success in evil things, and there is a gain that turneth to loss. So you can gain all these different things, but guess what? It's going to be a loss at the end of the day. It's vanity. You understand? That house, guess what? Somebody else, when your time here is gone, guess what? Somebody else is going to be there. Right? That car, somebody else is going to have that. Right? You read about that in the book of Ecclesiastes, right, with Solomon, when he was going through all these different things, saying, I built these different things for another man to possess it, paraphrasing. All right? So, the things of the world, the gains of the world, we don't want to focus on those different things. That's not what we focused on, but rather focused on the gain in the spirit, the gain that's pleasing in the sight of the Lord. All right, let's get that in the book of, actually, let's go to 1 Timothy first, chapter 6. And verse 6, it says, this is the book of 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 6. It says, but godliness with contentment is great gain. All right, so it says godliness with contentment, meaning you can be, you know, keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, having faith, being righteous in the eyes of the Lord. But guess what? If you're content with the state in which you're in, that may not be, quote unquote, the best, but you're content. You understand? Guess what? Hey, that's a great gain. Rather than you know, constantly searching and hungry and not appreciative, you know, and you know, not content in righteousness with the situation that you may be in. So you steady out seeking more, right? You hungry, but hungry in an unrighteous way. Greedy, borderline, right? A lot of people are like that when it comes to money. That's why when you read the rest, I believe if you read the rest of this, yeah, this is verse 10 in 1 Timothy chapter 6. It says, for the love of money, not money, because a lot of people quote it, they say money is the root of all evil. No, money not the root of all evil, right? It says, for the love of money is the root of all evil. You understand? So if you love that, if you put that on a pedestal, you understand, that's where the evil comes in. Because now you're being driven by something else. You understand? You borderline, you on the acts of being greedy. Now you'll do anything for the money. Now you'll compromise yourself for money. And we see it all the time. You understand? With athletes, Hollywood, actors, so on and so forth. People compromising themselves over the love of money. You understand? It says, for the love of money is the root of all evil, which, while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. You see that? Just what we was talking about, right? But so real quick, let's go to the book of 1 Samuel. All right, let's get the book of 1 Samuel. It's the book of 1 Samuel chapter 2 and verse 26. And it reads, and the child Samuel grew on and was in favor both with the Lord and also with men. And that's a great gain. That right there is a great gain, to be in favor with man. You understand? People can't speak an ill word against you. You understand? Getting the love of the congregation, not having any smut on your name. So that's a great gain, you know, because, hey, your name is all you got. And a good name is desired above silver and gold, like you read about in the book of Proverbs. All right. So a great name, guess what? That's great gain. Right? To be blameless, name-wise, in its truth. Right? With men. Also, right? Hey, to be in favor with the Most High God. Right? Read that one more time. It says, and the child Samuel grew on and was in favor both with the Lord and also with men. So guess what? hey, that's a great gain on both ends, right? With man and also with the Most High God. Who wouldn't want to be in favor with the Most High God? That's a beautiful gain. A beautiful gain. A great gain. All right. Now, how do you do that? How do you get in favor with the Most High? Right? How do you get in favor with man, the Most High, so on and so? How do you do these different things? Ultimately, it's by doing the things that's pleasing in the sight of the Lord. When you do things that's pleasing in the sight of the Lord, then guess what? Hey, that's favorable unto him. You understand? The Lord loves that. All right, let's go back to 1 Timothy. Or actually 2 Timothy. It's the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 2 and verse 4. And it reads, "No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life." Right? You can't entangle yourself, meaning you can't be attached to the world. All right? You can't envy the oppressor. You can't envy wicked doers. You can't envy people that are using the world, you understand, abusing it. But no, rather, you can't be entangled with the affairs of this life. You understand? It says, "No man that entangleth himself with the affairs of this life," it's like no man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who hath chosen him to be a soldier. It said that he may please him. Why? Because you can't please the Lord if you too busy trying to care for the things of the world, to the point to where it's overriding your judgment. You you setting the Lord to the side and putting the world on the pedestal. All right, the cares of this life, your job, you understand, friends, women, car, whatever the case may be. You can never set the Lord aside and then put something else on the pedestal. Your kids, right? No, none of that. But rather, guess what? The Most High God he got to be at the helm. He got to be at the forefront. He the one that have to be on the pedestal in your life. Everything got to revolve around the Most High God. All right. So, hey, if you in this thing, you in this truth, you can't entangle yourself with the affairs of this life, the cares of this life. All right. The Lord told you that, hey, if any man love the world, he's an enemy of God. Paraphrasing. All right. So, hey, if you want to please the Lord, then guess what? Hey, don't entangle yourself with the affairs of this life. All right. Let's go to the book of Hebrews. All right. So you got to put the world away. All right. It's the book of Hebrews, chapter 11 and verse 6. It says, "But without faith, it is impossible to please him, for he that cometh to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him." So guess what? Not only do you have to put the word away, but guess what? Obviously, and first and foremost, you got to have the faith. You got to actually believe on the Most High God, man. You got to believe in his words. You got to believe in Yahweh Yahushua. You got to have that faith, man. That's pleasing in the sight of the Lord. You understand? Because without that, you can't do, if you don't have that, nothing you do, it don't really matter. Straight up, it don't. Because why would he care about something that don't believe in him? All right? You could keep all the commandments, but if you don't believe in Yahweh Shem Yahushua, then it's all for naught. It's vain. Literally. Right? It's literally vain. All right? This is the book of Hebrews chapter 4, real quick, then we'll move on. But this is the book of Hebrews chapter 4 and verse 2. It says, "For unto us was the gospel preached as well as unto them, but the word preached did not profit them, not being mixed with faith in them that heard it." So you don't want this thing to be unprofitable unto you simply because of your lack of faith, because these things are not being mixed with faith. All right. So obviously, to please the Most High God, you gotta have faith. Gotta believe in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. That's pleasing in the sight of the Lord as well. All right, let's go to the book John. It's the book of John, chapter 14. It's the book of John, chapter 14 and verse 15. And it reads simply, right? If ye love me, keep my commandments. Straight like that. So if you love the Lord, guess what? Keep his commandments. Keep his commandments, have faith, you understand? And do the thing, separate from the world. You can't serve God and mammon. All right, you got to separate from the world. You got to have faith on Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, and you got to keep his commandments. All right. It says, let's go to the book of Colossians, chapter 1, and verse 10. It's the book of Colossians, chapter 1 and verse 10. It says, that ye might walk worthy of the Lord unto all pleasing, being fruitful in every good work and increasing in the knowledge of God. So that's something that's pleasing as well. You understand? Being fruitful unto good works, not fruitful unto bad works. Because you got people that's fruitful in bad works, in wicked works. Right? You got people that put out wicked music. And guess what? It's millions of people listening to the wicked music and it's just producing, you understand, wicked fruit. You got people that slide to NBA Youngboy. Slide to this, slide to that. That's hey, they being profitable in wickedness. They bringing forth a manifold fruit, but in wickedness. You want to do that in righteousness. You understand? Letting your light shine. You understand? Being somebody that when they see you, you understand. Hey, they understand that. Hey, that's a representation of a real Hebrew Israelite, but more importantly, of the Most High God, man. They can say, that brother, that's a good brother. And they understand what you represent. Couple all that together with how you carry yourself in righteousness. And now, guess what? Their impression of you or of what you represent, which is Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, guess what? You leaving a good example for that. You leaving something that's favorable in their sight. All right. Read that one more time. Colossians 1 and 10. It says, that ye might walk worthily of the Lord unto all pleasing, being fruitful in every good work and increasing in the knowledge of God. And that's what we always want to do as well, is constantly increase in wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And you want to keep it. All right. These are things to be able to gain. You want to be able to gain, you understand, faith. Right? You want to gain faith every single day. More and more and more and more and more. That's pleasing in the sight of the Lord. All right. You want to be able to gain a spirit of cutting off the world and not looking back into the world. You want to cut all that down to the last atom. All right. As much as you can. Right, to where you solely focused on your eyes, your frontlets is solely focused on this truth, the word of the Lord, and things on how to continue to please the Most High God. You understand? And also being a righteous example for our brothers and sisters. All right. And you also want to increase in the spirit, right, and increase in keeping the commandments. Right. Those are all things put together that's beautiful to gain. Right? That's the things that we want to continue to gain. Right? Gain in the last days. Wisdom, knowledge, understanding, keeping the commandments, faith, you understand, so on and so forth. Let's go to the book of Proverbs. All right. Chapter 4. Or actually, let's go to Proverbs chapter 2 and verse 3. Right? This is the book of Proverbs chapter 2 and verse 3. It says, yea, if thou criest after knowledge, and liftest up thy voice for understanding, if thou seekest her as silver, and searchest for her as for hidden treasures. Talking about what? Talking about wisdom. Talking about wisdom. That's dope. We all should want to gain the wisdom of the Most High God, the wisdom that you get from the precepts. You understand? Righteous wisdom. All right. Hey, but you gotta long for it. You gotta want it. You shouldn't want to come to it half-heartedly, but you should want to gain wisdom because you need it, because you fiending after it, because you want it, because you love it. All right, let me drop down to verse 9 real fast. It says, right, so you gotta long after, you gotta cry after it, right? You gotta seek it. You understand? You gotta search for it like a hidden treasure. Verse 9 though, it says, then thou shalt understand righteousness and judgment and equity, yea, every good path. Through what? Through wisdom. But you gotta seek after it though. You gotta sprint after it. You gotta search for it. You gotta do the max. You gotta go to the max, man, to obtain it. Cause she don't just come unto anybody, and she damn so just don't stay with anybody. You understand? All right. Psalms chapter 111, real quick. It's the book of Psalms chapter 111 and verse 10. It says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endureth forever. We'll get one more on that. Real quick in Sirach, chapter 15 and verse 1. Right? It's the book of Sirach 15 and 1. It says, he that feareth the Lord will do good, and he that hath the knowledge of the law shall obtain her. Right? So guess what? You'll obtain these different things through what? Your faith. All right. First and foremost, that's where to start with, your faith. All right. But then, you know, after that part, guess what? Hey, you search after it. You continue to be hungry for it. You continue to want to engage with wisdom. All right. But it starts off with the faith first, then goes into what? Hey, you following in the footsteps after that. You continue searching. You continue to go forward. You continue to grow, learning these different things. And guess what? More and more wisdom gets imputed unto you. You understand? She revealeth herself more unto you. Okay. Let's go to the book of Proverbs chapter 4. Now let's go to Proverbs 4. And we'll start at verse 4. All right. So it says, he taught me also and said unto me, let thine heart retain my words. Keep my commandments and live. Get wisdom, get understanding, forget it not, neither decline from the words of my mouth. Forsake her not, and she shall preserve thee. Love her, and she shall keep thee. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. So you can never let wisdom go. Once you do these different things that's pleasing in the sight of the Lord, you obtain wisdom more and more and more and more, and you putting these different things together, guess what? You can never let her go. You got to squeeze it and hold her tight. You got to hold it nigh unto you and never let it go anywhere. You understand? That's something that you want to be able to maintain. That right there, those are the things you want to maintain. All these different things that we've talked about so far. The other stuff, guess what? That you want to let go, right? Or that, even if you don't, not saying you got to be out here homeless, but you know, that's not real gain at the end of the day. Because guess what? Your crib could burn down, unfortunately, right? Your car can get stolen, unfortunately. All right. Your woman, whatever. Those things, that's not a great gain. A great gain comes through what? It comes through your faith. You understand? Increasing in the spirit, keeping the commandments, right? Leaving the world behind. And guess what? That's how you please the Most High God. That's great gain. Pleasing the Most High God. The Most High God having favor upon you. That's great gain. You understand? And all those different things, they couple in that will spew over, you understand, into being in favor with man as well. Like we read about in 1 Samuel chapter 2, right, in 26. Let's go to the book of Songs of Solomon. You got to bound yourself to this. You can never let this stuff go, right? You can never let something like wisdom leave. Something like the favor of the Lord leave you. Something like pleasing, you were once Or right now, you're pleasing the Most High God. You're doing the things that you need to be doing to please the Most High God, but then you let it leave from you. That's devastating. To let those things just leave from you. All right. This is the book of Songs of Solomon, chapter 3 and verse 4. It says, "It was but a little that I passed from them, but I found him whom my soul loveth. I held him and would not let him go until I had brought him into my mother's house and into the chamber of her that conceived me." So the point is, he said, I would not let her go. And you cannot let these things go from you. Right? Let's go to, I want Sirach. Let's go to Sirach, chapter, I believe I want, actually I want Wisdom of Solomon. So like it, chapter, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6. Bear with me. See if I can find this. I think I might want 4 and 20. All right, bear with me. All right, we just gonna go to Sirach. We're gonna go to Sirach chapter 4. Sirach chapter 6 and verse 22. It's the book of, actually, I'm gonna get right to the point. It's the book of Sirach chapter 6 and verse 24 or 23. It says, "Give ear, my son, receive my advice, and refuse not my counsel." This is going into wisdom. It says, "And put thy feet into her fetters, and thy neck into her chain." You got to be willing to bound yourself unto these different things, man. In righteousness, you got to be willing to bound yourself unto wisdom. Bound yourself, you understand, unto pleasing the Most High God. Caring for pleasing the Most High God, man. You got to put yourself in chains and bound yourself into these different things. All right? You have to want to do these different things. You don't want to do it half-heartedly, right? You want to do it wholeheartedly, like it actually, if I'm not mistaken, is geared to tell you in this, right? It says, verse 25, "Bow down thy shoulder and bear her, and be not grieved with her bonds," right? Don't be grieved in pleasing the Most High God, right? You doing it reluctantly, right? "Oh, yeah, I got to do this," or "Yeah, I got to read," or "Oh, I got to pray again. I already prayed earlier." That's off. No, you want to do it wholeheartedly, all right? You want to do it with all your might, man. And you want to do it because you love doing it, all right? It says, verse 26, "Come unto her with thy whole heart, and keep her ways with all thy power." See that? Do these things with your whole heart, man. You understand? So, Lord willing, these are the things and the qualities, you understand, that you can gain, right? And in gaining those things, Lord willing, you understand how to maintain those different things. All right? You got to never let it go. You got to come to it with your whole heart. You got to love doing these different things. You got to continue to grow in it. You got to spend time. You understand? It's just like a man or a woman. Guess what? If you're in a relationship or court or whatever the case may be, and you not spending no time, you never talk to, you go days or weeks without talking to the person, you don't see the person, you understand, you don't show interest in the person, guess what? That person gonna leave. And in like manner, for what? For wisdom. If you're not showing wisdom attention, all right, you're not showing the Most High God attention, so on and so forth. You're not doing the things that's pleasing. You're not putting effort into. You're doing it. Guess what? They're gonna bounce. All right, and they taking and get the Most High gonna bounce, and he taking wisdom with him, man. And he taking that candle too. All right, so All praise to the Most High God. Lord willing, brothers and sisters, continue to gain and maintain in this truth. With that, Kwam Yasha'Allah, Shalom.